Yeah, you feel the pressure, man, I know the pressure. And my wifey is a spice like I'm David Beckham. A lot of pent-up aggression coming out of my section.
Recently, I've been playing through Pokemon Diamond because, I don't know, I felt like it. And up until the 3rd gym, I used a Bidoof on my team as an HM slave because I didn't want to teach any Pokemon on my team HM moves. Eventually, I filled up my team and the Bidoof got boxed. When I finally made it to Sunny Shore City, I ended up going to my PC to check out the Dialga I just caught and saw the Bidoof and couldn't help but think, poor Bidoof, all he wanted to do was run free and destroy lives in battle. But he never had the chance. Instead, he was forced to learn a bunch of HM moves and only served the purpose of using them outside of battle so I could advance in the game. Well, unfortunately for Bidoof, he has basically been labeled as an HM slave and will forever probably be used as one. Well, misused as one. And this got me thinking. So welcome to the top 5 misused Pokemon. Remember, if you enjoyed the video, to leave a like rating and subscribe for more Pokemon content. And with that being said, let's get right into the video. In the number 5 spot, we have Talonflame, or I guess any Pokemon that has or can have the Flame Body ability. If you didn't know, having a Pokemon with Flame Body in the front of your party decreases the amount of time it takes for eggs to hatch. Being said, it's very useful to people who are breeding or shiny hunting with the Misused method. In the beginning of X and Y, I was really into breeding because I had never really done it before, and I don't know, it was just fun. And I always found myself having a Talonflame at the front of my party, just helping me speed up the process of breeding with its ever so useful ability. The poor guy, he just wanted to go out into battle and maybe fly me places every once in a while. But since I already owned a battle-ready Talonflame with Gale Wings, the Flame-Body Talonflame never touched battle. The number 4 spot goes to Relicanth. Relicanth was always a less common Pokemon for me. I mean, outside of a couple times in competitive play, I never used Relicanth on my team once while playing through any game. But there was always one time in Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, and even Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire that I used a Relicanth, and that was to catch Registeel, Regice, and Regirock. If you don't know, the only way that you can catch these legendary Pokemon is if you go to the sealed chamber with a Relicanth and a Wailord to trigger the event. This opens up the caves where the legendary Pokemon hide. Even though Wailord is also used in this process alongside Relicanth, I've never experienced misusage with Wailord because I've actually used him twice throughout my playthroughs of Pokemon Emerald. But after I did this event, Relicanth would always go straight to the PC, never to be used again. The number 3 spot goes to Audino. One of the main perks of Audino is that if it is found in the wild, it gives so much EXP once it's knocked out. This makes Audino very helpful if you're trying to grind your Pokemon up for the next gym or challenge, or if you're doing a Nuzlocke and you don't want to be underleveled. But one of the main disadvantages of Audino is that it's just not a good Pokemon. Other than it having a good HP stat and relatively good defenses, its stats are really not great. And combined with its mediocre level up moveset, Audino is just not an optimal Pokemon to use at all. And that being said, Audino is mostly only utilized for its ability to give out a lot of EXP once it's killed in the wild. Poor Audino just wants to get caught in battle with, but instead him and all his friends in a route are getting decimated by a 10-year-old trying to level up his Pokemon. The number 2 spot actually goes to 2 Pokemon, Bidoof and Bibarel. Since both of these Pokemon essentially do the same thing, but Bidoof is just more common early game, I felt it would only be right to place them here together. As I said earlier in the video, both of these Pokemon have been essentially labeled as HM slave Pokemon. They rarely serve a purpose on any team and are rarely seen in competitive play, unless you run a Curse Simple Bibarel. And in that case, you're a cool guy in my book. But these Pokemon are pretty much only used as HM slaves. I mean, literally the only upside of Bibarel to Bidoof is that it can learn a couple more HM moves. Come to think of it, I can't even tell if these Pokemon are really being misused. It almost seems as if they were made to be HM slaves. They have bad stats combined with an amazing learn set for HM moves. It just seems way too practical. And finally, the number 1 most misused Pokemon is going to be Ditto. Now, Ditto is a Pokemon with pretty horrible stats actually, all of them being exactly 48 and only having access to one move, and that one move being Transform. So yeah, Ditto seems like a pretty trash Pokemon, and yeah, that's right. He has minor use in competitive play because of his Choice Scarf Imposter set, which basically creates a clone of your opponent's Pokemon, but faster. But the alternate use of Ditto is that Ditto has the ability to pretty much breed with every Pokemon, with some exceptions like most legendary Pokemon. And for this reason alone, Ditto is number 1 on the list. A Pokemon that just wants to battle alongside its trainer, take down other trainers, and collect gym badges is instead thrown into a daycare with any Pokemon of its trainer's choice and forced to produce offspring. So yeah, pretty disturbing if you ask me. Well, that's gonna do it for this video. If you guys did happen to enjoy it, make sure you leave a like rating on the video and subscribe for more Pokemon content. It would be greatly appreciated. Also, make sure you leave your own opinions of what you think the top 5 misused Pokemon are in the comments below. I would love to hear them. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.